Hello, my companions. Welcome to the car. This is Zach on a Thursday afternoon. Going to pick up my son because I love him and it's my job. It's good times. It's good times. Just got done filming that vlog that you probably watched because I know you're committed to following every single day of my life. Look out. Can't go this way if there's a car coming, my man. Doesn't work that way. You're on a bicycle. Well, it's been a beautiful day. Can't complain at all. Honestly, beautiful day. So nice. I think that I already talked about it on the vlog, but I love spring. Spring is just a great time. The world opens up and the weather gets better. I even like the rain in the spring. I think that's great. It's actually one of my favorite times, just to be around, just to see the changing of the world. It's exactly the way I expected it to be. It's exactly the way that we like it. And that's it's a cool time. So been enjoying the changes in the weather. Honestly, it really wasn't even that cold this year, which is not great. Like, we got one snowfall, maybe two, in Virginia. So, I'm not that far I'm only like a 2-hour drive from DC. So, like, not far by those standards. But I expect, in terms of weather, that, we'll run into some, some snow eventually, but that just hasn't been the case. So we're seeing some hot winters. Not hot, but like definitely not cold, which is what you expect during the wintertime. So I've been just hoping for a little chillier time, but that didn't happen, did it? So that's what we're looking at. I am looking forward to the spring. Spring is a beautiful time of the year. And, one of my favorite times. One of my favorite times to just be out. I'm working on, for everyone that doesn't know, because probably none of you know, I twisted my ankle pretty severely on Halloween. I was going downstairs. It's so silly, but I was going downstairs and in my basement, I was going to get my clothes that were in the dryer, and I twisted my ankle at the bottom of the stairs. It was a full, inward turn. It was awful. My ankle was about the size of a grapefruit, and I had a terrible time. So I had to wear a boot for a week. I did a lot of stuff, but it was not great. And honestly, it was one of the worst, one of the worst experiences I've had with rehabbing an injury, especially because the injury was to the point where it's still bothering me now in almost March. That's a problem for me and for many, I'm sure. But yeah, so I'm working on improving that injury because it's lingering and I don't like it. Nobody likes it. I want to go running again. I used to, for the longest time, for a couple of months, I was doing runs every couple of days, and then on Sundays I would have my long run day, which is about an hour long, and so I'd run for an hour. That's the goal, nothing too wild, but I would run for an hour, which is, when you're trying to build up your endurance, I do subscribe to the belief. This is one I learned in air assault school when I was in the Army. Slow is smooth, smooth is steady, steady is fast. And so there is something to the idea that when I gotta get out of this lane because this car is driving so slow. Even if I'm behind a load of people, I'd rather be behind a load of people than behind a slow car or two slow cars. So that's just how I feel about that. I'm not even like in a rush, you know. My son's gonna be there when I get there, so it doesn't matter. But slow is smooth, smooth is steady, steady is fast. And yeah, it's not a bad deal to work on your endurance. You know, there's lots of ways to do it, but for me right now, just working on getting back to a healthy place where I can run, strengthen my ankle, and get back to running. Running is great. I love the therapy, like the therapeutic feeling that comes with running for a long time. Because you don't know anything about my running history. On 4 months of training, I ran my first half marathon in San Diego, and for quite a while, I've been riding bikes and also running. So, you know, I've had a little bit of, since I've moved to Richmond, I've been biking. So I've had some good like athletic endeavors, but I really like just the solitude that you can get on a run. On a bike, it's kind of crazy because I did a 30-mile ride one day, and yeah, I was out there. Like, I was really cruising by myself on the what's it called? I don't know what it's called. There's like a trail that goes from Richmond to Jamestown. I don't know what the trail's called. Capital Trail is what it's called. It's Capital Trail. But anyway, I did 30 miles by myself, which was crazy. But my feet fell asleep. You know, like my feet were numb. It was a challenge and a test for myself. But I did it. I did it. So had some gummy worms because that's my favorite post workout like long run or a long bike treat to get my sugars back up and get some nutrients in me. But anyway, I love those things. I love just being on my own and doing things like that. Like hikes, same thing. When I do like a really long, like 13-mile hike or 20-mile hike, I really like the feeling of being alone. As much as it like scares people when you're alone doing something like that. I remember this guy that I think he did a hike in the Cleveland National Forest, maybe in San Diego, and he ended up falling off a cliff or something like that and dying. And you know, like that scares people because they want to know that you're safe. And you know, like even the most accomplished people can still get hurt, and they can still, you know, find themselves in compromising situations, or you know, if they get exposed to the elements for too long because they didn't prepare properly. Like even with the most preparations, you can still get hurt, and something can happen that you didn't expect. So it is like a little bit of like a risk to go and do something by yourself, but I also love the feeling of doing it by yourself. Unsupported athletics is amazing. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. Is I really want to get back into the running portion because I really like being out there. Bicycling is not off the table, although I do feel sometimes I feel like I have a bike and it's okay. You know, I need to get the tire patched or, you know, get it fixed and stuff like that. But and the weather's good, so it's definitely that time of the year. But I need to get my endurance back. I need to be able to ride for, you know, 2-3 hours at a time. If I want to get to back to where I was going. My goal was to ride 100 miles. But I don't think I'm there yet, and I probably won't be there for quite a while, and that's not a big deal. Katie's dad, Art, was an avid bicyclist, and so he did 100-mile, you know, races, and I'm not even trying to race, I'm just trying to ride 100 miles, you know, in one go. But anyway, I I like the idea of, riding long distances and running long distances and hiking long distances. Not for a sense of accomplishment, or I want to go and be first, or I'm not about that. I have no ambition to be an accomplished anything other than to be able to accomplish my goals and to go and do things that I want to do. And you don't need to be amazing at something to accomplish something amazing. So you can be enthusiastic, and you can be driven, and these are all things that you can't buy that. You could have the best gear in the world, but if you have no ambition and no enthusiasm for the thing that you're doing, you're gonna fail, or you're not going to succeed, at least in achieve the way you want. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but for me, I can't see myself doing those endeavors. Like, I don't know if I'll ever run a half marathon, at a fast pace again. That I was in great shape when I ran that half marathon in San Diego. Like, I was in amazing shape. I'm improving. I will say I'm improving a lot in terms of my athletic. Like, I've lost a bunch of weight since Wesley was born, and I'm working on a lot of things. I'm working on my figure. and these are all things that I certainly I consider and think about when I'm working on my goals, athletic, fitness or otherwise goals. I do consider, well, what steps do I need to take? And as someone who's set real goals, and I've lost so much weight, on weight plans and stuff like that. So there's things that I know are well within my wheelhouse of accomplishing. And there's a system that I know how to follow. And if I get to that point where I want to go and lose another 20 pounds, being lighter does not hurt. And my goal isn't to be 160 pounds. Like 175, 170 pounds would be great. I could really do something with that. So I think the last time when I rode that 30 miles, I was like 185, 190 pounds. So, a little questionable weight. So, definitely in that place where I'm like, I could lose some more. So I'm at like a 195, right? Or 193, 195. So, working on it, but those are the goals. That's where I'm at, and certainly want to continue to work towards those fitness goals, so I can go and enjoy the things, the therapies and the aspirations that I like to accomplish, and that I've set my mind to in the past. And the sky's the limit for fitness when you start to. You find a rhythm, and I think your body needs to find a rhythm. But we'll continue that when I'm back. The sweet sound of parenthood. Sometimes on a ride, I just like to hear my son scream for 10 to 15 minutes until he realizes that he's in a car about to go home. He was actually about to take a nap. He was fighting a nap at daycare when I showed up. So this is not a surprise that he would be fussy. But maybe we get home, maybe we give him a little bit of a bottle, and we just see what happens. Because we're at a certain point where it's like, we don't have any more breast milk to give him because Katie's weaning down on breastfeeding. And you just gotta kind of see what happens. Maybe he drinks a bottle here, maybe he drinks a bottle there. We are putting him to bed sooner, because we're adjusting, because he's getting a little older, so it's like his bedtime adjusts accordingly, so he gets more sleep at a certain point, and so we're just trying to get him to bed sooner. It apparently is something that happens. And so also the car moving, I'm just listening to him like his faint cries just starting to dwindle. It's so funny. You know, Katie gets heartbroken when she hears him cry, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, babies cry, that's what they do, and you can't really control that, and no amount of like fussing or fighting and fretting with that is ever going to change what he does. You can't console a tired baby. You just can't. It's, they teach you that day one in daddy school. You can't console a tired baby. And so at a certain point, you just kind of got to let it happen. And, it's not that I'm not empathetic towards him, but, I'm a realist. And in the reality of the sense of you can't do anything to fix a crying baby's, demeanor. They're going to cry as much as they need to sort themselves through the problem. So, if I had a fix, I would offer it to him. But number one, I'm driving. I'm the only parent in the car. And number two, even if I did try to console him, what would it do? What would it do? And listen to him. He's already stopped crying. He's already stopped whining. Maybe he'll spark back up. But like right now, his mouth's open. His eyes are open. And there he is. But it's like, you can only do so much. So, but this is the reality of the situation. Is like, you can't do anything. I was with, when we were in Florida, driving to the aquarium, maybe? I'm not sure. We were driving somewhere. I think we were driving to the aquarium because Katie drove. And he started crying, and they were like, well, what should we do? And we're like, you can't do anything. We were we were driving through the parking lot, and Katie's mom was singing, and I'm just like, okay, like, this isn't working. All you're doing is just annoying the rest of the people in the car. But it is what it is. It's just people try everything to try to solve a situation. There's so many different factors that go into play with that. And the reality is that, that's just people's personalities. They want to fix things. And it takes a lot for people who are fixers, or who at least think they're fixers, to try to fix a problem that's not fixable. There's just only so much you can do. So, now that he's stopped crying and he seems chill for the time being, back to trying to be an elite athlete. Not really. Back to talking about fitness goals and goals in general. Getting back to running and, bringing my ankle back to health. There's a lot of things that play into that I haven't done yet. I don't know that I'll ever get physical therapy for it. But I would really like to just get a re-examination of the ankle to see kind of where I'm at. Is it something that I should, be looking into physical therapy for? Because there's just a lot of external ankle damage that's at play that I just haven't figured out yet, and I don't know exactly how to figure it out. There's a lot of supporting ligaments in your ankle that you need to work on to increase the stability. And this is something I did a lot of for my knee when I was doing a lot of running early on, during that time frame, that peak 2016 to 2020, or 2018 to, anyway, let's call it 2016 to 2021. So I was doing a lot of running in 2020 during COVID as well. But this, I was doing a lot of stability. I would do squats, one-legged squats on a bench. And I would alternate, and I would just strengthen my knee ligaments, because I was doing a lot of hiking, and I needed, when you walk across uneven terrain and you're doing things that your body just normally doesn't do, you could get seriously hurt. And so developing a sense of stability across joints is really important. So it's something that I've been working on and thinking about, and just I don't want to get into a position where if I go back into running that I then re-injure my ankle. I haven't felt any really concerning things so far when I have done light running, but I would say stability first, and then we can get back into running. I don't even run fast miles. Like I think I tried to run a fast mile once in the last 4 months, not 4 months, once before I in the 6 month span before I hurt myself. So, and there's something to that. The terrain obviously plays a factor, and if I'm running on city streets aren't perfect, and neighborhoods are not great. So, Wesley's asleep. I knew talking about running would put him to sleep. Great work. Great work. Anyway, so there's just a lot to consider, and some things that I should be doing now. I think I want to get one of those like balancing pads where it's like it's textured on one side and not like the flip side, it's not textured, and just to work on stability in that way, because there are some pads that really do a good job of challenging you to that extent where you can actually get increased range of motion and durability, it's lateral or otherwise. So something I'm looking forward towards, and I really do need to get back into it. I still do a lot of I have a foot log for my fascia, and there's lots of things that I do, but I haven't done much stability work with like functional movement. Something about like getting into a squat position. I haven't been doing that very much. I definitely have a limited range of motion. So finding ways, maybe with like resistance band or something, to increase that range of motion would be extremely helpful, and would be very complimentary to the goals and aspirations that I am applying to myself and to my future athletic endeavors. The end. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to have goals. It's a good thing to aim for something. I don't have like an achievement that I'm trying to accomplish in terms of running. I have a buddy, Chris, that does his running. He's super serious. But he's like, I'm gonna run like 2,000 miles in a year, or whatever it was, like something crazy. Probably wasn't 2,000 miles a year, but like maybe 2,000 kilometers or something. But that guy puts in the work. He goes for long runs, and he tries his hardest. I'll be damned if he doesn't almost accomplish everything that he tries. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to see people setting lofty goals and then hitting those goals. So I'm a big fan, and I applaud anybody that tries to go for those lofty goals that they set for themselves. It is very important, I think, if you're trying to push yourself athletically, and especially as we get older. Chris is an old guy, just like me, so we're both trying to reobtain our past prime physical health, and that doesn't happen unless you're willing to put in the work. So speaking of putting in the work, I gotta go put in the work to take this baby in the house. I have arrived at my destination, and appreciate you guys joining me on this ride. If you are enjoying the occasions, be sure to drop me a line and say what's up, like it, and be sure to check out my other Carpool Companions. They are equally as long, equally as enjoyable, and I am sure that you will like them if you like this stuff. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.